It was a hot afternoon on the edge of a quiet suburban town when a small girl stood by the roadside, holding a handwritten cardboard sign that trembled slightly in the wind. Her hair was messy, her shoes scuffed, and her eyes, too young to know heartbreak, held the kind of sadness you only see in those who've lost too much, too soon. The sign read in large, uneven letters, "Duke, good dog, $50 or best offer." Cars passed her by, one after another, but she didn't move. Beside her sat a loyal German shepherd, his tail resting gently in the dirt. His head tilted toward her, as if asking why they were there, why she wasn't smiling anymore. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the loyalty of animals, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Pawsitive Tales. Because this story isn't just about a dog being sold, it's about love, loss, and how sometimes a stranger's heart can change everything. The girl's name was Emily, and she was only 9. Duke had been her best friend since before she could even tie her shoes. Her father, a former soldier, had brought Duke home when Emily was 3. He used to say, "This dog will protect you when I can't." But when her father passed away unexpectedly 2 years ago, the world grew smaller for Emily and her mother. Bills piled up, smiles disappeared, and laughter became something they used to have. Emily's mother worked long hours at a diner, but no matter how much she tried, life never seemed to catch up with hope. When the rent notice arrived with a red stamp across it, Emily overheard her mother crying late into the night. The next morning, while her mother slept, Emily made her decision. She couldn't fix the grown-up problems, but maybe she could help. Maybe she could sell the only thing she had left that was worth something, her beloved dog. Duke, she believed $50 could help somehow, though she didn't fully understand how little that was compared to their troubles. Still, she packed Duke's worn leash, grabbed a piece of cardboard and walked to the street corner near the highway. Hours passed. People glanced, some frowned, some looked away. No one stopped. Emily's hope began to crumble with every passing minute. Duke stayed close, occasionally nudging her hand, sensing her pain. His tongue hung out as he panted under the heat, but he never left her side. He didn't understand why they were there, but he understood she needed him, and that was enough. Then, out of the hum of engines, a deep rumble echoed down the road. A black Harley-Davidson slowed to a stop beside her. The rider was a large man, rough around the edges, his arms covered in tattoos, his beard streaked with gray. His leather vest had patches from biker clubs and worn-out insignias that spoke of long roads and harder lives. He took off his sunglasses, looked at Emily, then at Duke. There was a moment of silence, the kind that feels heavy and electric at the same time. The man dismounted his bike and crouched beside Duke. The dog's tail wagged slightly. He extended his hand, and Duke lifted his paw in return, sealing something invisible between them, a bond beyond words. The man smiled faintly. "Good dog, huh?" he said softly, his voice rough but kind. Emily nodded, her lip trembling. He stood, reached into his wallet and pulled out $50. Emily's heart sank. She had hoped no one would really take Duke away. She had hoped that just maybe someone would understand. But then the man did something unexpected. He didn't hand her the money. Instead, he crouched again, looked her straight in the eyes, and said something she'd remember forever. He told her he didn't want to buy Duke. He wanted to help her. The biker, whose name was Jack, had seen enough in life to recognize the kind of pain that doesn't come from toys or playground fights, but from loss, hunger and loneliness. He told Emily that he had once been like her, small, scared, and standing beside something he loved, not wanting to let go. His father had been a soldier too, and when he passed, Jack had felt the same hollow ache. He gave her the $50 anyway, insisting it was for Duke's food. But then he asked where she lived. Emily hesitated, but Duke barked once, almost as if giving his approval. She pointed down the street toward a small, weathered house with peeling paint. Jack followed her home on his bike, keeping a respectful distance. When they arrived, Emily's mother came running out, fear and confusion in her eyes. But as soon as Jack explained, her expression changed. Tears welled up when she realized what her daughter had tried to do, selling her only companion to help pay bills. Jack didn't leave that day. He sat with Emily and her mother, listening to their story. He learned that Emily's father had served overseas and had saved lives before losing his own. Jack had been in a biker group for veterans, a brotherhood of men who had once worn uniforms and carried heavy memories. That night, Jack made a few phone calls. Within days, people from the veterans group began showing up at Emily's house, some with groceries, others with repair tools, one even bringing a used air conditioner. They fixed the fence, painted the walls, and helped Emily's mother find a better job through one of their contacts. The house slowly transformed, and so did their lives. Duke became a local hero too. Jack took him to the biker meetups, where everyone fell in love with the loyal German shepherd, who had once been for sale for $50. Emily often rode behind Jack on short bike rides, Duke sitting proudly beside them in a custom-made dog carrier that one of the bikers had built. Over time, Emily began smiling again. Her laughter returned, and her mother often said that Jack had been sent by her late husband because he had once saved lives in uniform, and now he had saved theirs in a different way. Months later, during a community event, Jack surprised Emily with something special. He handed her a framed photo of her father, standing proudly beside Duke as a puppy, and beneath it was written in simple, powerful words, "Heroes don't always wear uniforms. Sometimes they wear leather and ride Harleys." Emily couldn't hold back her tears. Neither could anyone else in the crowd. Duke barked softly, as if echoing the emotion that filled the air. In that moment, everyone understood the quiet bond between a little girl, her loyal dog, and the stranger who chose compassion over indifference. Because sometimes, the smallest act of kindness doesn't just change a day, it changes a life forever. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Pawsitive Tales. And before you scroll away, leave a comment below telling us what you would have done if you saw that little girl and her dog that day. Special request: comment below with the words, "Kindness still lives," if you believe the world becomes better every time someone chooses compassion over judgment.